The catch-22 here is that you can probably see when other people do it, so you see through people. Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about the strong, independent woman and her subsequent desires of finding a partner who can actually hold her so that she doesn't have to do everything all the time. And if you resonate with being this archetype of woman you're capable, you are smart, you can handle everything, you might be in a leadership role, you might be in an entrepreneurial role, you're very good at anticipating other people's needs, you take care of yourself, you take care of your body, you take care of your friends. You're probably also like the mom friend who's just one step ahead. You have your awareness on other people, like I said, and you know what's going on in the sense of hypervigilance. If you've never heard that word, this is a nervous system term, or like a term that is speaking to a nervous system response, which is a subtle tracking of everything that's going on. So you might have had the experience where you are like sitting in a restaurant in front of your friend, but you're thinking about the waitress and you're like, okay, the waitress forgot about this. You can like sense, and then you can see those two people over there having a fight. Then you notice that the person that came in the door just tripped, and you're just tracking all of these details, which is kind of a superpower, but also takes a lot of your energy. This archetype also maybe likes to live alone or takes on more responsibility. If you do have roommates, you might be like the one that's actually paying the rent and the one that's organizing the bills, even if you're living with other people. And in relationship, what can sometimes happen is we end up in sort of either mothering our partners or taking a lot of emotional care for our partners. We might be drawn to men who we feel like we need to fix or save or like show them the love that we feel like they need, and it ends up being a lot of responsibility for the other person and leaves you feeling not met a lot of the time. And what maybe you really desire is a man who can just like scoop you up, or a partner that's like, I've got this, babe, you can relax. You might sense that there's something within your system that is just tired, that like at the end of the day, when you've done all of your things and checked all of your boxes, you're like, I'm not just tired from today, I'm like tired, I'm just deeply tired of living life like this. And the tricky part about this archetype, this way of being, is that it's highly validated in our society. So we get a lot of praise when we operate in this way because other people don't need to worry about you. You're going to be able to handle it yourself, and that can leave you feeling overlooked. And so we want to talk about, I'm looking at my notes here sometimes, why we end up feeling unsupported, and also we're going to get into how operating this way creates barriers to intimacy, which you've probably known. And there's, as I said, this part of you that just like aches for a deep connection and aches for like a man to step in and feel his or their direction, but it's not happening. And so we're going to talk about that as well. So let's take a look at the feeling unseen and feeling unsupported. And the reason that this happens is because we are often using our self-sufficiency as a shield, our ability to handle things as a protection mechanism. And this is something that you learned along the way, basically, that the more that you can handle things seemingly with grace and ease, the more safe you will feel. And so this kind of leads into a control piece as well, which I think we're going to talk about a little further down here in my notes. But what this is doing is it's unintentionally signaling to other people that you don't need help and that you don't need emotional support. And that's just not true, because all of us need emotional support. All of us want to feel that someone else is emotionally attuned to us instead of us always just being attuned to them. And so if we are putting on this mask or putting up this wall of like, I've got it, I'm fine, there's literally no space for other people to go like this. And the catch-22 here is that you can probably see when other people do it, so you see through people, you see through their masks and through their shit. And when people don't do that for you, there's a part of you saying, why don't they see me like I see them? Why don't they meet my needs like I meet theirs? And I'm telling you that unfortunately, it is your responsibility to open for that, to ask for that, because we cannot, unfortunately, even though you can do it for others, we cannot expect other people to do that for us. And we cannot wait for a partner who's going to just see us and save us. And it's this beautiful fantasy. It's this beautiful Disney prince fantasy which I would love for that to happen to you. And sometimes we do meet these people. We do meet people that can see us deeply, but we can't expect or rely on that to happen. It's actually more your job to open to receive, to be a little bit vulnerable, to be able to relax enough for someone else to handle it instead of just taking care of it super quickly. So a few other things that kind of keep us in our own trap of feeling unsupported is the giving and receiving imbalance. So as I was talking about before, you're able to anticipate other people's needs and you probably overgive and overgive. Again, this is our responsibility to dial back on, because when we overgive and overhandle and overcontrol, we are actually taking away other people's opportunity to care for us. And why would we want to take that away? So that we can feel safe and we can feel adequate and we can feel in control. Sometimes we're also doing these things because we have tied our sense of self-worth and validation to what we do. Your sense of self-worth is inherent. You could do absolutely nothing and still be worthy of love. Absolutely nothing and still be worthy of love. And if that feels entirely untrue to you, like not even 1% true, then I would invite you to look for that 1% possibility. Sometimes it's easier to find when we think about a baby like fresh born into the world. Love, everybody loves it. Everyone that sees it is like, oh my God, amazing, precious, beautiful. Like that baby's doing nothing. That baby is quite literally a burden. Like everything has to be done for it. And still it's like, you are worthy. And that doesn't go away. We just forget about it. But because you are born and you are human, and there's a very, very low chance of you even being born, something in the trillions, you are worthy. Okay. And that, again, that might feel like a stretch, but just to show you that there's like attaching all of my worth to what I do and how much I can see and help people and make sure everything is perfect and not needing to do anything, maybe we can soften into receiving that from other people a little bit more. So when we do this overgiving thing, we tend to also subtly train the people around us that we don't need anything. And so when we've hit this point, maybe in your 30s or 40s or 50s, where you're like, I don't want to be actually this overgiver anymore. I'm so tired. And we start to ask things of other people, they might be a little resistant, because we may have created a whole environment in which we trained people that we don't need them, and we attracted people that actually really need us. So there can be a growing pain in what you're trying to do, but it's worth it. It's worth it because when out of these people, the few select ones that do start to show up, that is going to feel so good for you. And it's probably people that you already know that maybe even operate the same way you do, that are going to be able to start to create a more balanced relationship for you. And when you have more balanced relationships, you're going to feel a lot safer to basically be able to stretch and work this muscle of receiving, which you probably don't use very often. Okay, and the final piece that's important to address here is sometimes we operate in this way because of a fear of rejection, which is what most of us do with most of our coping mechanisms in terms of relationship. Most of our compensation is just a fear of rejection. But why would we have developed this compensation specifically? It's probably because somewhere early in life, your emotional needs were dismissed, or they weren't met, or you were given more responsibility than you probably should have for a child your age. Again, this is really common in like the oldest daughter archetype, or when a parent couldn't really care for themselves well or didn't have the tools, and as a child you start to learn very quickly, okay, this is how I can emotionally care for my parent, and it creates this like parentification mismatch of roles. And because that's what you learned to do in order to get the love from your parent and the attention or the validation, it can be like changing that and not doing that can make us feel like, well, then they're going to reject me because I'm not doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. So in the next video, we're going to talk about how this strong, independent woman can actually really relax to receive. But before that video, I'll leave you with this. It's basically, the practice for you is to kind of find your edge of where do you not want to ask, even for the smallest things. Where do you feel like you're taking up a little too much space and you're not allowed to have the thing that you want? If someone offers you a soda at their house, do you automatically say no? And can you practice being like, yes, I would love that? Another example could be you suggesting the restaurant you actually want to go to instead of choosing the one that your friend wants to go to. You asking your friend to come to you instead of you driving all the way to them, or at least meeting halfway. On a date night, saying no to a movie that you don't want to watch because you just watched it, or it's too scary for you, or whatever it is. The intro practice is like finding the edge of you starting to get your needs met through other people instead of you just handling all of your own needs and all of everyone else's needs. So I trust you know what that edge is. Maybe there's someone in your life right now. Maybe there's a conversation happening in your WhatsApp or your iMessages right now where you can receive a little bit more, where you can not take on, or you could take on a little bit less, where you can give someone else a little bit of responsibility. Practice, because these are the first steps to you becoming a little bit more in your feminine, fully surrendered woman who has a partner that's like able to step up and meet you or take care and handle things so that you can soften, which I know is what you secretly want to do. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. We're going to go way deeper into this. Subscribe so that you're notified when it comes out, and I'll see you there. Bye-bye.